Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be doing a deck profile on the prediction princesses that I've been playing, and there's a lot of different builds, so you notice, wow, there's 14 cards here, I can't make a deck out of it. Don't worry, we'll talk about cards that you can play, whether you want to play a Shadal build, whether you want to play a specific prediction princess like pure build, or if you want to go Star Seraphs, or if you want to really tech out your deck and make it like a super anti-pendulum mechanic version of the deck. But anyways, let's go and jump into the basic core of the deck, and we'll look at the other prediction princesses, and we'll talk a little bit more about them, as well as how to kind of play the deck. If you guys haven't seen how the deck works, I highly recommend you to check it out. I'll put a link down below in the description box, and you guys can kind of watch how the deck plays. And it's a really good, fun budget deck that you can build, because most of the cards are like 25 cents anyways. Minus some of the cards over here, maybe like Maxi and some of the stuff in the extra deck, but you don't really have to play those. There aren't the core cards of the deck. But anyways, let's go and jump right into like the core section of the deck, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it, and we'll show off the other prediction princesses that you can try out if you want to. Keep in mind again that this is not my actual side deck. These are other like versions of the deck. Basically, pick and choose what you want and make your own deck, because I played a lot of different versions and a lot of people want all of the versions, so you guys can kind of try out them and see which one you like the best. So first off, 3 Pot of Taboos, 1 Prediction Princess Crystalline, 3 Senju, 3 Manju, 3 Aeroslith, 3 Coin Norma, 2 Maxi, 2 Effect Veiler, 3 Taro Tray, 3 prediction rituals. So that's it for like the main core of the deck, but I kind of want to talk more about the other prediction princesses, because, you know, maybe you want to try out some of the other ones that just didn't suit my playstyle, and as well as I just didn't think that they were as great as some of the other ones. So first off, the 2 cards that we're not playing right here is the Petal Elf and the Astro Morgan here. So let's go ahead and read their effects. If you guys haven't seen the gameplay, again, just watch it, because I don't want to explain everything in depth, otherwise the video would be 5,000 hours long, because their effects are like half paragraphs and got multiple effects. But I'll give you guys like the TLDR version of the effects. So first off, Petal Elf's effect is that you can flip to change all face-up attack position monsters your opponent controls to face-up defense positions. Monsters change the defense position by this effect cannot change their battle position. And then the Astro Morgan, it's a flip effect. During the end phase of this turn, destroy as many defense position monsters your opponent controls as possible. And if you do, you get to inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. So essentially with both these cards, you can combo them with each other, but I really don't find them to be very good when you could just run a card like Pot of Taboos and just Raigeki your opponent, and they can't even like play because you just Raigeki them, they have nothing. So against pendulums, because that's the most relevant deck right now, and everyone wants to be able to counter them by not also playing pendulums. I understand some people don't like the pendulums, so I built this deck to be able to counter them. What you want to do is this card over here, once you ritual summon it, during the end phase you can bring back Pot of Taboos. The goal is essentially to wait for your opponent to pendulum summon for a bunch of cards. You activate this card's effect to flip Pot of Taboos that you got for free, and you use it as material anyways. You're going to Raigeki them, and then they go, okay, pass. They're not too worried about it. That deck doesn't usually play too much back row, so what they'll do is they'll just be like, okay, pass turn. And then if it's your turn, you have a Pot of Taboos, you already have a Taro Tray over here, and then you've Raigeki them, so they don't have any play. They can't synchro, they can't exceed. So what you do from there, after they pendulum summon, you activate this card's effect, you flip this up, you activate its effect to be Raigeki. You Raigeki them, and then you go ahead and attack, and then you repeat. They go pendulum, and you're like, well, you gotta flip it face down again during your turn. And then when it goes to their turn, you flip it back face up, and you go, hey, Raigeki again. And they're just like, wow, that's so broken, they cry a little bit. Sure, there are cards to get around the Pot of Taboos, the Taro Tray combo, but that's the basic concept of like how you can counter pendulums. We'll talk about some other cards in just a moment. For the extra deck, you can definitely run other things, but since I just had like the Shuttle one over here, obviously if you're playing the Star Seraphs, you're going to need Ouroboros, Azneyes, all the other cards that you can have access to. There is one card that's coming out that can support him. This also technically supports a lot of other random stuff. But Spirit of the Tailwind, like I said, it's not out here in the TCG yet, but if it's normal summon, you get to add a flip monster from your deck to your hand. I found this card to be way too slow. I'd rather just like add whatever I wanted to immediately with this. These are usually the cards that you want to add. These are the cards that you want to search out with the deck anyways, and the other cards are just too slow. If this card was level 4, I'd probably play another one of it, but for the most part, you just really need to go for this as quickly as possible, because you need to be able to compete with the meta. Obviously, you can add Upstart Goblins, but I just wanted to add these cards over here so you guys can decide what you want to play. Originally, a lot of people were playing Shaddols with this deck, and it's great to be able to go Shaddol Beast, you know, draw cards. But I'd rather just have Pot of Taboos and just draw 2 cards and not have to discard. Obviously, if you're playing Shaddols, then yeah, discarding can be okay, because sometimes you need certain things in the graveyard, whether it's some of the fusions or stuff like that, so you can add them back. You definitely have access to that. But you know, obviously you can play BLS in here too. Other builds, you can try Starseers if you want to. But I really liked Denko Sekka because in this deck, when you didn't get your summon off, like at one point I was playing Lance, because if this summon doesn't go through, you usually just lose because you have to use Prediction Ritual, you have to have the Ritual, you have to have something to use as a tribute to bring out through the Ritual. And Potter Tube is just like the excellent, perfect card for this deck. And if this play doesn't go through, like I said, yeah, you usually just like kind of lose. So Denko Sekka is great because you don't really need your normal summon all the time. Sometimes you need to normal summon one of these. But if you don't need your normal summon, this is an excellent card. I've also tried Gem Knights in it. It was excellent as well. You can try Gem Knight. I just only had, you know, area to 15 cards. But you can try a Gem Knight build if you want. I know that some people are like, wow, but you only have, you know, 3 ritual monsters with this, and this searches out the ritual monster. Yes, that's true, but you need to be able to be super fast against some of the meta in today's meta. And on top of that, you see people playing 3 copies of Gem Knight Fusion, or not Gem Knight Fusion, whatever the Brilliant Fusion, with only 1 copy of the normal monster. And the reason why people do that is because if you just activate your effect once, you usually win the game anyways. And the same thing with this deck. If you get this combo with the Pot of Taboos, you usually just win anyways. Coin Roma can also be a card that can get you this card, and again, you're just going through the same combo anyways. And the idea is just to abuse Pot of Taboos as hard as possible. Watch the replay that will be linked in the description box, and you guys will understand how good this deck can be if you happen to get a first turn Taro Tray and a Pot of Taboos out. But other great cards that can totally stop pendulums, and there's great utility with Anti-Spell Fragrance plus Pot of Taboos. So what you do is you just bring out the Taro Tray over here, and then obviously you always go for Pot of Taboos. That's the card that you want to go for. So your fee will be this card face up and this card face down. Keep in mind, one thing that's really important is that you can activate this card's effect and get Pot of Taboos effect instantly the same turn. So during the end phase, you make sure you activate its effect to get out Pot of Taboos, and then you still activate this card's effect during the end phase to flip Pot of Taboos face up, and then you can choose whatever effect that you want. But if you have Anti-Spell Fragrance in combination with this two card combo is really easy to pull off. You have a lot of searchability in the deck. Obviously, playing upstarts, you can make it even faster. Heck, you can throw hand destructions in the deck if you really want that sonic speed, because it doesn't really matter what you discard, because this combo is so deadly, and this gets you anything from your graveyard as well. So Pot of Taboos over here, it has all like banned cards effects. So it's either Pot of Greed, which is draw 2 cards, Dragon Tourney, which is return all spell and trap cards on the field to the hand, or you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls, aka Raigeki, which technically is legal right now. Or the other effect is Confiscation. You get to look at your opponent's hand and then shuffle 1 card from their hand into the deck. So that can be really advantageous to do it like turn 1. You can just go for it. Also, another great card is Bookmoon, so you can like, abuse the card even harder. But being able to do that will let you know what your opponent is playing, and obviously you can get rid of one of their cards, so that's really advantageous. But what you can do with Anti-Spell Fragrance with this deck is you can go ahead and activate Anti-Spell Fragrance immediately. Your opponent sets everything. If they're playing Pendulums, they usually just, they see this 1 card, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to set my MSTs or something like that. And what you do is you just go ahead and activate the effect of Pot of Taboos during the end phase, because you're going to be able to do this effect during either player's turn. I should just go, let me give you the quick effect of this card. So once you ritual summon this card, during that turn you get to get any flip effect monster from your hand or graveyard, you get to put it in face down defense position. And then during either player's turn, once per turn, you get to either flip a monster face up or face down. So you're able to abuse Pot of Taboos real easy with this. So what you do is you immediately activate Anti-Spell Fragrance. Your opponent sets everything, and if they can't get over these, which, this card has relatively large defense, and this card has relatively large attack, and this card has decent attack too. So you just activate Anti-Spell Fragrance, and they set everything, and then you go, okay, I'm going to activate this effect. During the end phase, Pot of Taboos, you get to put all your cards back in your hand. Okay, my turn? Okay, I'm going to flip Pot of Taboos face down. And, well, obviously you want to attack with it first, but then you go activate this Pot of Taboos effect. Flip back face down, and then your opponent goes, and you say, okay, go ahead, and they set everything, and then you just go, okay, you can have all the cards back. And it's the same concept with pendulums. You just regeki them. They go pendulum for a bunch of cards, and you go regeki. And then they go, okay, pass turn. You go, okay, my turn. I flip it back face down after I attack, and then I flip it back up face up when you pendulum summon. It's really dirty, and a lot of people complain about it if you face them. They'll be like, wow, this is OP, man. But you can also abuse these two other cards other than Pot of Taboos. You have Whirlwind Weasel. If you want to, it's a flip effect. Your opponent can't activate any spell or trap cards, so for pendulum decks, they fold at that point. They can have a normal summon, they can attack over it, but if you have like two of these cards, you can usually finish off the game, with the exception of them having Damage Juggler. There's also Guard Dog, and Guard Dog's effect is that your opponent can't spell summon for the rest of the turn, so you can abuse this, and this card has decent attack. Whirlwind Weasel, unfortunately, only has 500 attack, but Guard Dog has that 1500 attack, so Skull Joker can run over this, but again, if you have this combo over here anyways, you're set to go, because you can just be like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and make it game, because you'll have both of these, and of course they're going to have a blank board because you can regeki them. So you have 4,700 attack. I'm pretty bad at math, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. And then from there, with Prediction Ritual, you can obviously add another one from your deck to your hand, and usually that makes a game the next turn anyway. So it's a relatively fast deck. You just have to learn the basic combos of the deck, and like I said, knowing how to abuse the right cards at the right time is very key in the deck. I just wish this card was level 4, but there are times where it's nice to have it 5 because you only have to use one other card for the deck. I really wish this deck got a little bit more support. Unfortunately, you can't run Preparation of Rites because it searches a level 7 or lower. There is a new card coming out that I need to make a video about. Basically, Preparation of Rites isn't even good anymore. There's a new card that's going to be at 3, and it's way better than Preparation of Rites. We'll talk about it very soon indeed. But this is a little fun deck. I don't think it's meant to compete with the meta, but if you want to, these 3 cards are very excellent against some of the meta. And you can OTK in this deck very easy if you're playing a Shadal build, but it has some consistency issues, I feel like, with the Shadals, because I really just wish El Shadal Fusion was at 3. Like, if this card was at 1, that'd be fine. This card just helps you push for games so much easier. And what's nice is this is light, but oh, Psych, you can't even go for Construct. Like, Construct at 1 would just make this deck so much better, because this is the card that you could really abuse your Shadal cards with, because you can flip something else, you can bring out something else and then immediately flip it, and then obviously with like Squamata you can destroy with the dragon, you can return. There's so many more OTK potentials, but unfortunately Construct is banned. Hopefully we'll get Construct at least at 1. I think that that'd be something that we can look out for in the future, hopefully, because, you know, I don't think that Construct at 1 would even do anything against the really strong Perform Mage, Perform Pal decks as of right now. It's still a really cool card. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear them, because I definitely want to revisit this deck in the future once we get some of the more new ritual support in the game. I guess this is technically like support for like flip effect decks, but hopefully we'll get some more better support for flip effects. Maybe if there was like a Book of Moon for like, maybe you can Book of Moon like multiple of your own monsters, that would be kind of good. I know there's a card that flips everything face down, but then your opponent like draws cards, and like I don't want none of that. But pretty fun deck. Have some fun with this deck, guys. It's pretty budget friendly, I would say, for the most part. Again, some of the cards in the extra deck might be a little pricey, but you don't really have to have them. You don't generally make too many cards in this deck, but Instant Fusion would also be a great card. I just wanted to give you guys like the option to see what other things that you wanted to try out and have some fun with the deck, guys. But thanks for watching. It's been your boy Will Smith. Oh, like I said, watch the video and watch the combo so you guys can understand how the deck works, because when I was playing the deck, I saw a lot of people, other people trying out the deck, and they weren't really utilizing it the way that they should, because this card, you have to abuse this card as many times as possible and do it real fast. You get Effective Pot of Greed, you draw 6 cards like within the first like 2 to 3 turns, you win the game, man. But anyways, thanks for watching. It's been your boy Will Smith, signing out.